The Gum Gum no Mi is a what? Real quick, before we get into that, spoiler warning for chapter 1044. If you have not read One Piece chapter 1044 before clicking on this video, I don't know what you're doing, go read it. But past all that, getting back into this, the Gum Gum no Mi is a what? I mean, if you read the chapter, you obviously know that it is not the Gum Gum no Mi, and it is actually the Hito Hito no Mi, or the human fruit model Nika, i.e. the sun god Nika. And real quick, my first impressions, just throwing it out there, I'm cool with that. I'm actually not mad about that. Given all the theories and everything people are speculating about the Gum Gum no Mi not being the Gum Gum no Mi and what all it could be, or some people are literally stretching, pun intended, the use of rubber to the resin level. As all things considered, it being a mythical zone that has just been so difficult to awaken and so useless on the base level that no one would really go as far as Luffy would go to get to this point, that makes sense. And there has been a lot of proof of to why it makes sense in this category that it does. But before going on to that, the first main reason why it makes sense is that there was groundwork laid into this. Not just the fruit being the fruit, I'm going to go into that in a second, but the concept of the sun god itself, the Nika fruit, the sun god. And this goes all the way back to Skypiea, where we were first introduced to the sun god, the form of the sun god, them calling the sun god. So the concept of the god itself, the mythical god itself, was already introduced to One Piece way back then. And it was after the fact, after Luffy proving that he's ready to take on the One Piece, where after he beats a warlord and proves, yeah, I'm actually serious about this. That's when we get to Skypiea territory, we get into the lore of the One Piece world, and that's when we get into the sun god for the first time. So we were introduced to this myth. And it's not like we weren't aware that zoans and mythical zoans and human-type mythical zoans don't exist. That was laid out for us as well. Marco the Phoenix is a mythical type zone. Kaido is a mythical type zone. Sengoku the Buddha is a mythical type zone. Human. The human fruit as well. Type Buddha at that. So it's not like we haven't already been shown that these mythical zones and these human type mythical zones and different models of the same type can exist, because all of that has been already laid out. And I got some few theories in regards to Death Fruit and these other kinds of mythical zones, but I'm going to go there into a later video down the line. But the main thing I'm trying to say is the groundwork has been laid for it. And the even weirder thing is, if you take a real close look at Luffy's gears, his forms have also been laid out in it, very weirdly. The steam thing is that word that he wears around like a sash that levels him up like a dragon. Okay, but the steam thing that he wears around him, that was first introduced in Gear 2. The air literally being blown out of him. The wind mechanic, the steam mechanic, him pushing rubber beyond the normal means. And then him actually stretching in Gear 3rd, even though it doesn't have the steam, that's still stretching capabilities where he's able to utilize in his Gear 5th form, the actual awakening of it. So that was already in place with the steam and the transformation. Then you go into Gear 4th and you have the sash around him. He's already got the full-blown sash on him at that point. And now it just looks like different transformations of what he can do with his body at that point with the sash around him. That's just his hybrid forms. So if you want to look at it that way, I'm not saying that's factual stated, but you could make that case. And that's the weird part about this. There is some groundwork in place. And that's why I can be okay with this. I can. And the funny thing is, the meta for One Piece just keeps changing. I've said in a previous video that I recently, but I'm a weekly reader, and I got into being a weekly reader around the time skip. And when in pre-time skip, the meta for Devil Fruits was Logias, because you couldn't really touch them. You know, you just went through them. But when we got introduced to Haki and they put them more on a base level, Paramecia became the new meta, because they could just do whatever. They were just a bag of tricks. Look at Law. The Apinomi is literally a bag of tricks. You could just do whatever with the Paramecia. Look at Katakuri. He's a literal special Paramecia, but he's a Mochi no Mi. The things you can do with him is crazy. But now, the zones beyond just the toughness and the durability and the physical advantages, the animal instinct that they give, beyond just that, once you get into the mythical territories for them, it starts to get really ridiculous. These mythical zones start to be able to do crazy stuff. And now that in order for Luffy to beat Kaido, his Devil Fruit, which we thought was a Paramecia, basically just got upgraded to a mythical zone just to take on another mythical zone. And there's been other mythical zones in this with Yamato. And this whole raid is just nothing but ancient mythical zone. Ancient zones, not mythical zones, but ancient zones. These zones are trying to push a new meta. They are really trying to push the new meta. They are. And this is gonna make this fight even more ridiculous, because these are just myths going at it. Anything is going to happen in this fight. And real quick before I get up out of here, Luffy is officially maxed out. He is. I mean, all stats on max. Advanced everything. Advanced armament, advanced observation, advanced conquerors, and now he's awakened his Devil Fruit. He is maxed out. No one in the One Piece world is touching Luffy. If you are not an emperor, you can't walk in his direction. You gotta be an admiral just to talk to his right and left hand men. I'm sorry. Luffy is maxed out. You are not touching this man. Coming out of Wano, he is a different beast. He is a problem. And that is my captain. But this has been Live the Truth, and I hope you just have a good day. I'm sorry. I'm out.